What if one event changed everything? Not the invention of electricity, not the discovery of America, not even the world wars. What if the most important event in human history was something that never happened, a collapse that never came? What if the Roman Empire never fell? No collapse, no dark ages, no fractured Europe, just one civilization, adapting, surviving, and expanding for over 2,000 years. A world where Rome isn't a chapter in a history book. A world where Rome is still here. At its height, the Roman Empire ruled tens of millions of people across 3 continents. It built roads stretching thousands of kilometers. It developed systems of law, engineering, and governance that still shape our world today. And for centuries, it remained one of the most powerful political systems in human history. But in our timeline, the Western Roman Empire collapsed in the 5th century. Political instability, economic crises, military pressure, internal division. The empire fractured. And from those fragments, the modern world eventually emerged. But what if that collapse never happened? What if Rome solved its greatest problem? Imagine this. During the 3rd century crisis, Roman leaders make a radical decision. Instead of preserving the old empire, they reinvent it. Power is decentralized. Provinces gain real autonomy. Local cultures are embraced, not suppressed. Succession is regulated. Corruption is punished more effectively. But the most important change is deeper. Rome stops being a city that controls an empire. It becomes something else. An idea, a system, a civilization designed not to resist change, but to absorb it. And that changes everything. Because civilizations rarely collapse because they are weak. They collapse because they cannot adapt. In this timeline, Rome learns how. In our history, Roman collapse broke trade networks, weakened institutions, and scattered knowledge across Europe. But here, that break never happens. Roman engineers keep building. Scientists keep learning. Libraries keep expanding. Each generation inherits more than the last. Road systems expand across continents. Aqueducts evolve into vast water networks. Communication systems grow more advanced and efficient. And slowly, something unexpected becomes possible. Not a sudden revolution, but a continuous acceleration. Mechanization may emerge earlier. In select Roman cities, trade becomes truly global under a single political system. And instead of rebuilding after collapse, Rome simply keeps building for centuries. Now fast forward to the present. The map of the world looks unfamiliar. There is no France, no Spain, no Italy as a separate nation, no Europe as we know it. Instead, there is the Roman Federation, a vast network of provinces, stretching across continents. Ancient cities have become megacities. Londinium, Lutetia, Alexandria, Byzantium. Latin, evolved over 2,000 years, remains one of the dominant global languages. And identity itself has changed. People do not primarily identify as British or French or Egyptian. They identify as Roman. But this raises a question. How do you preserve a civilization forever without it becoming something else entirely? Because survival has a price. A civilization that never collapses also never truly resets. Over time, local identities begin to fade. Languages merge or disappear. Cultures become increasingly standardized. Dissent becomes more difficult to justify. Alternative systems become rarer. Competing civilizations struggle to emerge at all. Humanity becomes more united, but also more uniform. And eventually, we are left with a difficult question. Did Rome survive because it was successful, or because it made every alternative impossible? We often think of collapse as failure, but collapse also creates space. Space for new ideas, new identities, new civilizations, new futures. Without collapse, there is continuity, but without collapse, there may also be stagnation. So if the Roman Empire had never fallen, perhaps humanity would live in a more stable world, a more connected world, maybe even a more advanced one. But it might also be a world with fewer choices, a world where history never changed direction, because it never had the chance to begin again. Maybe collapse wasn't the end, but the beginning of everything else.